Pero bang kung ipasa sa January 30 sa may mag-drive ko ng January 30. Asa mo pumapasa nga nasunog mo ng DRS? Division. Hindi ako may mga drive sa January 30. Ako sa January 5. Mga GO, dito ba? Pero bang
Hello, test mic. So to start, good morning everyone. So today we have a pre-bid conference for civil works and goods and services. So before we start, may I ask everybody to start.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, thank you for bringing us together safely. As we prepare for this meeting, we ask that you prepare our hearts and lead us in your wisdom. May we set aside our own agendas and seek what you desire for us to accomplish during this meeting. Please direct our thoughts and guide our discussion. Help us to be attentive and respectful of one another's input and to work as a team. We ask that you grant us clarity of mind and lead us to helpful solutions. In Jesus' name, amen.
So once again, good morning everyone. So may I ask our back procurement head to read the attendance for the determination of the call.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. For today's pre-bid conference for Civil Works and Goods and Services, dated December 23, 2025, present this morning, we have our back Vice Chairperson, Engineer Mark F. Baranda, our back provisional member, Engineer Harold C. Carmary, and we also have our back end user representative, Engineer Pastor J. Banderas. And from the planning and design section, we have Engineer Joselito Hayuma. And from the QES, we have Ma'am Lorraine Pardo. And from our procurement staff, we have Engineer Noni Adenel Sagindan and Engineer Lovely Nancy Dandon. And yours truly, your back head secretary, April J. P. Tegasales. That's it.
Thank you, Ma'am April, and since the Visa Works Committee are in quorum, so I declare this pre-bid conference for civil work and goods and services to order. So we start with the goods muna, goods. Isa lang ng goods, no? Isa lang. So we start muna sa goods and civil works, dua. Correct? Okay. So I start with the goods and services.
Good morning, everyone. Today's bidding is the various apparatus and equipment that are to be used for testing of cement, soil, and asphalt. We have the first item is for kinematic viscosity of asphalt, and we need 5 pieces of holders each for Canon viscometer, and the cross arms sizes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1 piece each. And the second is a chemical spell kit with accessories, contains absorbent and neutralizers, 1 piece. Then beaker, 250 cubic centimeter, borosilicate glass, 10 pieces, and volumetric flask, 500 ml Pyrex glass, 2 pieces, and funnel, 75 mm borosilicate glass, 9 pieces. Next, the chemical storage drum, Indonesia, 3 pieces, and concrete disc hammer, calibration anvil, 1 piece, to be used for the calibration of armor and concrete hammer machine. Next, a conical ring, plastic mold, 5 pieces, and with square base plate, 5 pieces. Then graded sand, 7 sack, natural silica and conforming to ISTMC 788 for graded sand. And penetration cone needle, hollow brass, 1 piece, and picnometer conical glass with stopper, 1 piece, and picnometer glass round base, 1 piece. Receiving desk glass, 1 piece, and nutrient gloves, chemical resistant gloves, 100 pieces per box, 3 boxes. And paraffin 4 inches by 125 feet, 1 roll Nisia. And Erlenmeyer flash, 250 borosilicate glass, 10 pieces. We have then 5 feet borosilicate glass, 10 pieces, 5 pieces. And next item is a sieve number 100, diameter 8 inches, 1 piece. And sieve number 50, diameter 3 inches, 1 piece then. And next item is wash sieve number 200 mm. This is for the soan kaning abrasion, 1 piece. And reachable remote hydrometer with NIST certificate, 1 piece, and certified standard reference material test for fineness and blend air permeability apparatus, 1 set. Our next item is weights and reference masses, 1 piece niya. And sieve number 20, diameter 18 inches. 1 piece then. Breaker 1000 cubic centimeter borosilicate glass, type 1 low form with spout griffin, 10 pieces. And graduated cylinder borosilicate glass, capacity 10 ml, is 2 pieces. And filter paper, size 40, is 1 box. And filter paper size 42, number 42, 1 box. Another filter paper, size 50, number 50, 1 box, and filter paper, 1 box for fineness and blend air permeability. Next, the watts glass, 125 mm, glasswares, 10 pieces, and another watts glass, 90 mm, glasswares, 10 pieces. Our next item is the orthophosphoric acid, Anisha chemicals, 1 bottle per 2.5 liters. And another is talc powder, 1 bottle. Oil or grease, 1 bottle. And desiccant silica gel, 1 kilogram. And we have the chemicals for testing cement. Ammonium hydroxide, ammonia solution or ammonia is 2 bottle per 2.5 liter. And next, ammonium oxalate, 2 bottle per 500 grams. Next is ethanol, 95 or 99% reagent grade or similar grade or better, 1 bottle per 2.5 liter. And next, hydrochloric acid, 2 bottle per 2.5 liter. In heptane, 1 bottle per 2.5 liter, 99% reagents grade siya. We have sodium hydroxide, solid reagent grade or similar grade or better, 1 kilogram. And the last one is the late Chatelier flash used to determine the relative specific gravity of hydrochloric acid and lime capacity, 250 ml, 1 piece. That's all.
Mr. Chair, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Sir Joseph Bencalima, back regular member.
Hello, classmate. So, do you have any questions? Especially from our YouTube viewers, can you check? Since none, so we proceed with the technical and financial documents, components, or documents.
Documents comprising the bid, technical and financial components for goods and services. Eligibility requirements, FELJEB Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership, Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC, and FCC. Reminder, failure of bidder to update FELJEB Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership with the current and updated supporting documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the bidder's certificate. Single largest completed contract or SLCC. The bidder must have completed within 10 years from the submission of the bid, unless a shorter period is indicated in an invitation to bid. An SLCC that is similar to the procurement project to be bid, and whose value must be at least 50% of the ABC. It may allow bidders to present a combination of contracts completed within the same period, provided their total value is at least 50% of the ABC. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC. The computation of a bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to the current assets minus the current liabilities times 15 minus all value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started coinciding with the procurement project. The values of the domestic bidders' current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest audited financial statement. For joint ventures may participate provided that the primary purpose of each member must be similar or related to the requirement of the project. Each member of the joint venture shall be jointly and severally liable to the in case of breach or failure to comply with the requirements of the project. Submission and receipt of bids. A bid shall have two components, namely the technical and financial components, which should be in separate sealed envelopes and which shall be submitted simultaneously. The bid shall be received by the BAC on such date, time, and place specified in the invitation to bid. The first bid envelope shall contain the following technical documents at least. A. FELJEB Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership. B. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. C. Statement of SLCC. D. NFCC computation or committed line of credit. E. GPA or duly notarized statement if applicable. F. Bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and validity period. G. Technical specification, which may include production or delivery schedule, manpower requirements, or after-sales service or parts, if applicable. H. Omnibus sworn statement, and for foreign bidders claiming eligibility by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos. A certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in their government procurement activities for the same item or product. The second bid envelope shall contain the following financial documents. A. Bid form, which includes the bid price. B. Price schedules. And C. If applicable, certificate of domestic preference in accordance with the ITB Clause 25. ITB Clause 25 states, domestic preference. The procuring entity shall give priority and preference to Philippine products and services. The preference and priority for Philippine products shall be guaranteed at all levels of the procurement process, including raw materials, ingredients, supplies, or fixtures. Modification of bids. Bidders may modify their bid before the deadline for the receipt of bids. In case of modification, bidders shall not be allowed to retrieve their original bid, but shall only be allowed to send another bid, equally sealed, properly identified, linked to their original bid, and marked as modification and stamp received by the bank. Bidders through a letter may withdrawal of bids. Bidders through a letter may withdraw their bids or express their intention not to participate in the bidding before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. They shall no longer be allowed to submit another bid for the same contract, either directly or indirectly. Withdrawal of bids after the deadline shall be subject to appropriate sanctions. Bid security. All bids under modes of procurement that are competitive in nature shall be accompanied by a bid security, which shall serve as a guarantee that the bidder shall enter into a contract. Forms of bid security. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the following percentage of the ABC in accordance with the following schedule. 2% cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, 5% bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by bank, 5% surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company. That's all.
And for these procurement activities for goods and services, issuance or downloading of bidding documents, deadline will be on January 13, 2026 until 2 p.m. And hard copies are available at Box Secretariat, DPWH Misamis. And these bidding documents can be downloaded from DPWH website and CalJEP's website. And for the receipt by the back of bids, deadline will also be on January 13, 2026 until 2 p.m. And for the schedule of the opening of bids, it will be on January 13, 2026 at 2 p.m. immediately after the submission of bids. So that's all for goods and services, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Ma'am April. So since we are done with the goods and services, before we proceed with the civil works, may I ask for the last time if we have any questions from the goods? Since, so since we are done with the goods and services, so we proceed with the civil works. So we have two projects. So we ask our engineer from the planning design section, Engineer Hayoma, for the discussion of the scope of work of the project.
Hello, good morning. Today, I will be presenting project ID 25KK008, repair, rehabilitation of classrooms, Agaton, Oclarit Senior National High School, Gingoog City, Misamis Oriental. Appropriation is 10,701 and 626.99 pesos. ABC is 10,698,258 and 10 centavos. Our duration is 180 calendar days. So this is our vicinity and location map. For our perspective, as you can see, there are 10 identified classrooms to be repaired, rehabilitated. So we have 1, 2, then 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7, and the last building is rooms 8, 9, and 10. So these are the actual pictures for classroom 1 and classroom 2. So for classrooms 3 and 4 also. For classrooms 5 and 6. Okay, this is the actual picture of classroom 7. For classroom 8, 9, and 10, this is the last building. Okay, so for our program, our scope of work for classroom 1 and 2, repair on concrete floor finishing and extension of wall of concrete along the corridor and alley. Apply end wall plaster finish, repainting on wall and other masonry works, repainting on existing steel grills, remove portion of existing window grills and replace with new jealousy windows. Remove and replace doors, remove and replace roofing sheet, trusses, and purlins. Installation of pising board ceiling. So basically, classroom 1 and 2, 90% or 80 to 90% rehabilitation. For classroom 3 and 6, repair on concrete floor finishing and extension of concrete along the corridor, alley, and front steps. Apply end wall plaster finish, repainting on wall and other masonry works, repainting on existing steel grills, remove existing window grills and replace with new jealousy windows. Cover existing upper wall grills with Tyson, remove and replace doors, refurbish door jambs, remove and replace roofing sheet, revise trusses and replace purlins, also installation of Tyson board ceiling. So for classroom 7, construction of RC footing, column, footing tiling, and roof beams. CHB wall masonry, installation of jealousy windows and doors, trusses, purlins with roofing materials, rising board ceiling, toilet, septic vault, sewer line, cold water line, plumbing fixtures, and electrical works. So basically, our classroom 7 is more or less a new construction. So for classrooms 8 to 10, we have repainting on wall masonry, repainting on existing steel grills, repair of jealousy windows and doors, remove and replace portion of roofing, repaint portion of existing trusses and purlins, remove and replace a portion of rising board ceiling. And then for all classrooms, generally, we have to remove and replace electrical wirings and repair existing electrical lines. Also installation of front signage. So this is our summary of quantities. So our duration is for the provision of field office of engineer is 6 months. Permits and clearances, project board, billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, mobilization, general scaffolding, shoring, signages. We have also removal of structures and obstruction. So one lump sum. Our excavation, 4786 cubic meter, embankment, 34.47. Our embankment barrow common soil is 24.58 cubic meter. Gravel field is 24.86 cubic meter. Structural concrete, 3,000 psi, class A, 28 days, 37.79 cubic. Structural concrete, 4,000 psi, class A, 28 days, 9.65 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 40 is 1,202.86 kilogram. For grade 60, 2,749.90 kilograms. Formworks and false works, 261.2 square meters. Soil poisoning, 36 liters. For 100 CHD, 82.27 square meters, 150 CHD, 120.51 square meters. Doors flush, 0.9. Doors wood panel, 38.18 square meters. Frames, jam, seals, head, transom and mullions, 26 sets. Jealousy windows, 269.66 square meters. Awning glass, 0.54 square meters. Finishing hardware and carpentry, we have one lump sum. Okay, next. So cement floor finish, hardener, 270.2 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 249.5 square meters. Ceiling, 4.5 mm. Metal frame, fiber cement board, 844.55 square meters. Walling, 12 mm. Metal frame, fiber cement, 88.27 square meters. Fascia board, metal, 707.45 kilograms. Glazed tiles and trims, 19.71 square meters. Unglazed tiles, 3.24 square meters. Waterproofing, cement base, 4 square meters. Painting works, masonry works, 2,251.44 square meters. Painting works for wood, 39.69 square meters. Painting works for steel, 650.34 square meters. Pre-painted metal sheets, 0.27, and rib type long span, 1,517 and 52 square meters. Fabricated metal roofing for our ridge rolls, 134.25 linear meter. For our flashing, 212.2 linear meter. For our trusses, structural steel, 4,193.78 kilograms. For our purlins, structural steel, 2,852 kilograms. So we have metal structures, bolts, rods, 328, steel plates, 406.94, sub-rods, 400.23 kilograms, cross bracing, 318.05 kilograms, turnbuckle, 60 each pieces. We have sewer line, plumbing, cold water line, septic tank, conduits, boxes, wires and wiring devices, panel board, main, branch breakers, and lighting fixtures. So that's all for the repair, rehabilitation of Agaton Oclarit National High School, which is 10 classrooms.
Hello. So do you have questions for the repair rehab of classroom of Agaton D. Oclarit?
Kuan sa ganing permits and clearances si kontraktor, si bidder na nakadaog. So ayaw ka ma-pasisipan sa bidder na. For information sa bidder, dito na lang mga sa school sa katawang requirements sa katawang mga pagkuha sa ilang permits. Sige, thank you.
Hello. So from our YouTube viewers, there's any question? None. So since there's no more questions, we will proceed to the next project.
In behalf of Engineer Shiloh Sadikon, I will be presenting this project, 25KK008T2, construction of school health facilities. Alfonso ang Militante Integrated School, Elementary, Gingoog City, Misamis Oriental. So our appropriation is 4,328,000 4,702.26. ABC is 4,314,196.65 pesos. For our total duration is 140 calendar days. This is the project site. Our site development plan. So upon entering the gate, nasa sa right side. For our actual site photos, our floor plan. This is 9 meters by 9.5 meters. So this is our perspective. So for project scope, we have embankment of 39.38 cubic meter of common soil. That is 0.6 meters from the natural grade line. We have complete structural components, reinforced concrete, footing, columns, and beams, roof trusses, and roof sheets, including all roofing accessories, ridge roll, flashings, and downspout. Complete masonry, finishing, painting works, complete windows and doors, complete ceiling with 10 mm thick reflective insulation, complete tiling works, including tactiles, complete plumbing and sanitary works. We also have a complete septic tank, complete electrical works, complete mechanical works, air conditioning, ventilating system, and fire extinguisher. We have hand washing area. We have carpentry works only for nurses station and receiving area table, office table, locker files, cabinet, and medicine cabinet. Built up letter stainless signages. 6 inches PVC pipe for our storm drainage leading to the highway canal is also considered. So our bill of quantities, we have provision of engineer, rental basis, 4.67 months, permits and clearances, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, mobilization, demobilization, general scaffolding and shoring, signages. For clearing and grubbing, 126.5 square meters. Structural excavation, common soil, 77.92. Embankment, structural excavation, common soil, 45.05 cubic meter. Embankment, barrow, common soil, 6.51 cubic meters. Gravel fill, 16.29 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 3,000 PSI, Class A, 28 days, 13.2 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 4,000 PSI, Class A, 28 days, 31.74 cubic meters. Reinforcing steel bars, grade 40, 1,999.96 kilograms. For grade 60, 3,454.92 kilograms. Formworks and false works, 202.41 square meters. Soil poisoning, 16 liters. CHB, 100 mm, 48.46 square meters. For our CHB 150 mm, 88.3 square meters. Carpentry and joinery works, 1 lump sum. Finishing hardware, steel window, 1 lump sum. Glass awning type, 0.36 square meters. Aluminum glass windows, fixed type, 3.28 square meters. Jealousy windows, glass, 11.44 square meters. Frames, jambs, seals, head, transoms, and mullions, 12 sets. Doors, flash, 8.82 square meters. Doors, wood panel, 2.1 square meters. Ceiling, 4.5 mm. Metal frame, fiber cement board, 105.3 square meters. Our molding, concrete, 18 meters. Waterproofing liquid, 43.92 square meters. Built-up and pre-formed membrane, 43.92 square meters. Glazed tiles and trims, 28.44 square meters. Unglazed tiles, 106.9 square meters. Textured unglazed tiles, 6.48 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 266.59 square meters. Reflective insulation, 105.3 square meters. Railing, one lump sum. Painting works, masonry, concrete, 581.52 square meters. Painting works for wood, 4.2 square meters. Painting works for steel, 100.05 square meters. Duco finish, 96.73 square meters. For our roofing, gauge 26, 0.51 mm. Ridge hip rolls, 9 linear meters. For our roofing also, metal, gauge 26, flashing, 20.7 linear meters. For pre-painted metal sheets, about 0.427 mm corrugated long span, 92.88 square meters. Metal structures, one lump sum. Metal structure balls and rods, 14 pieces. Turnbuckle, 8 pieces. Sag rods, 23.43 kilograms. For our cross bracing, 46.53 kilograms. For our metal structure accessories, steel plates, 91.45 kilograms. For our trusses, structural steel, 566.8 kilograms. For our purlins, structural steel, 676.13 kilograms. Concrete gutter, 18 meters. Catch basin, CHB, 6 pieces. Sewer line, works, one lump sum. Storm drainage and spout, septic valve, plumbing fixtures, one lump sum. We also have cold water line for our electrical, conduit boxes and fittings, one lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, one lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, one lump sum. Lighting fixtures, one lump sum. Ventilating system, one lump sum. And lastly is our fire extinguisher, 4.54 kilograms with ABC bucket, 2 sets. That's all for our bill of quantities.
Thank you, Engineer Hayoma. So, do you have any questions from our YouTube, from our end user?
Mr. Chair, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Sir Jeffrey Luis Maestrado from Agaton, Oclarit Senior National High School. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. So, do you have any questions or clarification? Sir, from your end user, do you have any questions, sir? From our Winds Awards Committee? None. So we proceed with the documental and technical documents for comprising the bid.
Documents comprising the bid. Technical and financial components. For the eligibility requirements, bidders are required to submit the following documents. First, a FILJET certificate of registration under Platinum membership. Second, a statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Third, a statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC. Fourth, the bidder's computation of the net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC. Finally, for joint ventures, a joint venture agreement, or JVA, in accordance with Republic Act number 4566, otherwise known as the Contractor's License Law, and its implementing rules and regulations. Please be reminded that the failure of the bidder to update their FILJET certificate of registration with the current and updated supporting documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the bidder's certificate. For the single largest completed contract, or SLCC, the bidder must have completed a contract similar to the project being bid. The value of the SLCC, adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices, must be at least 50% of the approved budget for the contract to be bid. However, contractors under small a and small b categories who do not have similar experience may still be allowed to bid, provided that the cost of the contract does not exceed the allowable range of contract cost of their registration, in accordance with PCAB guidelines. Please note that the SLCC must be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor. Alternatively, a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or a similar performance and monitoring system may be submitted. For contracts with the private sector, an equivalent supporting document shall be required. For the net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, the bidder's computed NFCC must be at least equal to the approved budget for the contract to be bid. The NFCC is calculated using the prescribed formula, as shown. The values of the current assets and current liabilities of domestic bidders shall be based on their latest audited financial statements. Joint ventures may participate in the bidding process, provided that the primary purpose of each member is similar or related to the requirements of the project. Each member of the joint venture shall be jointly and severally liable to the procuring entity in case of any breach or failure to comply with the project requirements. For the submission and receipt of bids, each bid shall consist of two components, the technical component and the financial component. These components must be placed in separate sealed envelopes and submitted simultaneously. Bids shall be received by the Bids and Awards Committee, or BAC, on the date, time, and place specified in the invitation to bid. The first bid envelope shall contain the technical documents, which must include, at the least, a PhilJEP certificate of registration under Platinum membership, B, PCAB license and registration in the case of a joint venture, C, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, D, statement of the single largest completed contract, or SLCC, E, computation of the net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, F, joint venture agreement, if applicable, and G, bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and validity period. H, project requirements, which shall include the following. 1, the organizational chart for the procurement project to be bid. 2, the list of contractors' personnel, for example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the project, along with their complete qualifications and experience. 3, the list of contractors' major equipment units, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project. 4, omnibus sworn statement in accordance with section 54.3 of this IRR. 5, latest general information sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information, BOI, duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for corporations. And 6, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, following the template attached as Annex A for all bidders, including sole proprietorship. The following forms are for your reference. For bid security, all bids under competitive procurement methods must be accompanied by a bid security. The bid security serves as a guarantee that the bidder will enter into a contract if awarded the project. The bidder shall submit either a bid securing declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC, according to the following schedule. Cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, 2% of the ABC, bank draft or guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, 5% of the ABC, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company, 5% of the ABC. The omnibus sworn statement must be executed by the bidder or by its duly authorized representative. It should contain the requirements outlined in section 54.3 of the implementing rules and regulations of RA 12009, contractors' key personnel. The key personnel should meet the following number of years' work experience. The experience means total years of civil works experience of any nature in construction and engineering consultancy service. Include the tax identification number or TIN of the key personnel. Compliance to DEO. 98 series of 2016. Revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors, consultants, materials engineer, and to include the contact number of the materials engineer. Compliance to DEO. 148 series of 2024. Guidelines in the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineer. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that 1. The personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and 2. He or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office, pursuant to Department Order Number 9, Series 2012. The proposed key personnel and replacement must be named in the bidding document. The following are the key personnel required. 1 project manager with 5 years of general experience and 5 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached. The second is 1 project engineer with 3 years of general experience, 3 years of relevant, and is a DPWH accredited project engineer. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, including their project engineer certificate. The third personnel is 1 materials engineer with 5 years of general experience, 3 years of relevant experience, and is a DPWH accredited materials engineer. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their materials engineer certificate. The fourth personnel is 1 foreman who has 5 years of general experience and 3 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached. The fifth personnel is 1 safety officer with 5 years of general experience and 3 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their certificate of training issued by DOLE. The last personnel is 1 full-time health personnel. A valid and updated government-issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their certificate of training. For contractors' major equipment units, the contractor must provide proofs of ownership or other supporting documents for equipment that is owned, leased, or under purchase agreements. For leased or purchased equipment, a certificate of availability from the lessor or vendor must be submitted for the duration of the project. Proofs of ownership and supporting documents must specify model and year, capacity, performance, or size, plate number, motor number, body number, chassis serial number, engine serial number, specific location and condition of the equipment. These requirements are in accordance with Department Order 58, Series of 2012. For contractors' minimum materials testing equipment, refer to Department Order 11, Series of 2017 for the required equipment ability. The second bid envelope shall contain the following financial documents. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. Cash flow by quarter. Detailed estimates. Accordance to DEO 197. Series of 2016, the following items shall not be subjected to OCM and profit markup. Mobilization and demobilization. Provision of service vehicle. Permits and clearances. Accordance to DEO 197. Series of 2016, the following non-civil works items shall not be subjected to OCM markup. Field, laboratory office, and living quarters with rental basis. Furnishing of furnitures, lab. Equipment, survey equipment and consumables. Assistance to the engineers, photographs, health and safety, traffic management, environmental compliance, communication equipment, etc. Submission and receipt of bids. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. The address for receipt of bids submitted manually is Back Conference Room, 3rd floor, DPWH MOFDEO, Barangay 26, Gingoog City, Misamis Oriental. For electronic submission, electronic bids _ Misamis Oriental 1 at dpwh.gov.ph. Modification of bids. Bidders may modify their bid before the deadline for the receipt of bids. In case of modification, bidders shall not be allowed to retrieve their original bid, but shall only be allowed to send another bid, equally sealed, properly identified, linked to their original bid, and marked as modification and stamped received by the back. Withdrawal of bids. Bidders, through a letter, may withdraw their bids or express their intention not to participate in the bidding before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. They shall no longer be allowed to submit another bid for the same contract, either directly or indirectly. Withdrawal of bids after the deadline shall be subject to appropriate sanctions. The financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid process. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. Completeness. No price and required item be to the government, RA 12,009, indicating a zero or a dash free to the government. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections. Bid prices in figures versus words prevail. Total price per item versus unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item prevails. Stated total price versus actual sum of prices of component items. Actual sum of prices of component items prevails. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ. Unit cost in BOQ prevails. Amount in price schedule versus amount in bid form. Amount in bid form prevails. Post-qualification. Legal requirements. Licenses, certificates, permits, agreements, and non-inclusion in blacklist. Technical requirements. Key personnel, minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment and materials and laboratory equipment. Performance in ongoing government and private contracts. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any project, or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. Financial requirements. Bid price proposal. Required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents, when applicable. NFCC, contractor within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the back that the bidder has the LCB, MEAB, MAB, or HRB, the bidder shall submit the following. All the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJEP certificate of registration, platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Board, the BAC shall recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB after the post-qualification process has been completed. Within 10 calendar days from receipt by the winning bidder of the notice of award, the following conditions should be complied before the contract may be awarded. Submission of the following documents by the winning bidder. Valid JVA if applicable. A valid PCAB license and registration for the type and cost of the procurement project to be bid for foreign bidders in infrastructure projects, when the treaty or international or executive agreement expressly allows submission of such license and registration as a precondition to the notice of award, or the SEC certificate of registration of the foreign corporation, or the SEC certificate of registration of the foreign consulting firm, or the authority or license from the appropriate government agency or professional regulatory body of the foreign professionals engaging in the practice of regulated professions and allied professions, where applicable. Posting of performance security by the winning bidder in accordance with Section 68 of this IRR. Signing of the contract by the parties. Common errors in the submission of bids. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission, indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Overlapping of pledge equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bids. Failure to submit supporting documents, such as the certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project, if equipment pledge is to be leased purchased. negative slippage in the ongoing projects, negative 15% or more, or negative 10% in each of the 2 or more ongoing projects, unsatisfactory CPS rating, incomplete pages of bid documents, technical and financial, authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder, single proprietor, signatory should be the owner, proprietor only, corporation cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution, joint venture resolution agreement, partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership.
And for the scheduled procurement activities for the presented projects, so the deadline for the issuance of bidding documents will be on January 13, 2025 until 8:30 a.m. January 2026. And for the receipt of bids, deadline will also be on January 13, 2026 until 10 a.m. And for the schedule of the opening of bids, it will be on January 13, 2026, immediately after the submission of bids. And for the required category reports, so for contract RD 25KK0082, the required category report is BICWO PLC, or Buildings Construction Without Piles, low-rise concrete frame for 1 to 5 stories. And for 25KK0083, the required category report is BIR, or Buildings Repair. And as shown, this is a sample of the technical and financial documents to be submitted. And note, the bid and supporting documents should be hard and properly bound. So that's all, Mr. Chair, and thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am April. So since we are done with the pre-bid conference for civil works, so do you have questions or clarifications with the 2 projects? None? For our YouTube viewers also? None? Okay, so we don't have any questions. So from our end users, sir, any questions, sir? None. So since we don't have any questions and agenda to be discussed, any motion for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference, both civil works and goods and services?
Mr. Chair, I move for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference for civil works and goods and services dated December 23, 2025.
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Since it was moved and seconded, so I declare this pre-bid conference for civil works and goods and services adjourned. So thank you everyone to the DPWH committee and to our end user. Sir, thank you for coming, and advance Merry Christmas. So